Hello, and welcome to HIS 4490, the capstone class senior seminar in history. If you're here, you have completed all or almost all of your history major courses. Congratulations, and I'm looking forward to working with you this term. Our agenda is to take your skills in project organization, research, and writing to the next level before returning you to the wild. The focus of this class will be, of course, a research paper. More to the point, it will be to take an existing research paper that you've already submitted for a grade, then refine, expand, and deepen it. This lecture introduces the course. Before you go any further, please access a copy of your class syllabus. You have two choices here. You can use the one posted at the Canvas syllabus page, which has a print option, or you can go there and download a hard copy version from the links on that page. Also, open the class Canvas shell because we'll discuss both it and the syllabus. Let me note that the syllabus is the sole source of policies for this class. I'm pretty sure you've been a Troy student long enough to know this, but please accept this reminder. The syllabus contains class-specific policies, exercise instructions, and the course schedule. It includes, by reference, other Troy University documents as well as Canvas course modules and exercise instructions. Exercise instructions are linked at the Canvas syllabus with only the proposal and the final paper instructions attached to the hard copy syllabus. If you spot a contradiction between the syllabus and anything included by reference, let me know via email so I can clear up any possible confusion. To that end, I need to reserve the right to alter the syllabus to fit discrepancies so you will know the correct course requirements. So who am I? I'm Dr. Marty Olliff. My PhD is from Auburn University, received in 1998, and here you see my contact information. I'm at the Troy Dothan campus in Everett Hall, room 221. My telephone number is 334-983-6556, extension 21327, and my email is molliff@troy.edu. Remember, that's 2 L's and 2 F's. I'll host a virtual office hour via Microsoft Teams each Tuesday from 5 till 6 p.m. Central Time. This is a time when you can drop in to chat about class, assignments, or anything history related. I'll post links via Canvas, and we'll make Canvas announcements every Monday to remind you and provide the link to the session. Please be sure that you set up your Canvas to send you that email and check your Troy email regularly. Now, this virtual office hour is only one time when I'll be available. I'm available a lot more than this, so if you need me to speak with you, let me know and we'll set up an appointment. Notice that the section after my contact information on your hard copy syllabus or the last item in your Canvas online syllabus contains a list with definitions of skills this and all other history classes teach. I list these so you'll have something you can put on your resumes when job seeking now or in the future. This is a way to articulate skills you got from your history degree. You've learned critical thinking techniques. You've learned how to conduct research. You can evaluate evidence. You can make cogent arguments, and you effectively communicate. These are skills that employers seek beyond training for the job that they have for you. These skills prepare you to make long-lasting, ongoing contributions to your employer and to your community. They prepare you to participate in civic society as a citizen. Now, next, let's look at some of the class-specific policies. You have 3 required texts displayed here in alphabetical order. Graff and Birkenstein's They Say, I Say, the moves that matter in academic writing. The 3rd edition is their best and most cost-effective, but you can use any edition because the core information is indistinguishable among them. I've shopped at our local library book sale, for example, and picked up 3 or 4 copies of various editions for less than $1 each. Your second book is Strunk and White's The Elements of Style, which is a manual for clear writing. The 3rd edition is acceptable, but the 4th isn't too expensive. 3rd is Turabian's A Manual for Writers of Theses and Dissertations. You must use the 9th edition, as it differs from previous editions just enough to be noticeable. The Troy Library offers a link to the Chicago Manual of Style online for free, upon which Turabian is based. But to use that effectively, you have to be fairly familiar with how the CMOS and Turabian work together in order to understand how to use that online version. Different disciplines use different style sheets. Historians generally use Turabian Chicago Manual of Style. Style sheets like the APA or the MLA style sheet that you've used in non-history classes do not apply in this class. Your final required text is a history research paper you previously submitted for a grade and that you want to deepen, expand, and revise, as I said a little while previously. Now, I know that our prohibitions against plagiarism include submitting an already graded paper to a different class, but that's to prevent subterfuge. In this case, I'm instructing you to choose a paper and let's do what scholars call revise and resubmit. Writing a good paper in a 9-week term is tough. In fact, it's probably impossible because real writing occurs in the rewriting. Not once or twice, but multiple times. In this class, you'll have the luxury of extended time to revise, re-research, and reorganize a paper that you have already worked on. You don't have to start from scratch. The paper you submit is the one you will revise and resubmit for your HIS 4490 project. There's an assignment area in Canvas for you to upload that paper. Let's look now at how the course is structured. I've structured the course to deliver weekly work modules that promote particular skills. This is to provide some structure to the course so you don't have to figure out what you're supposed to do when. The week 1 module is the introduction to the course with tools to help you organize your project. Then subsequent modules cover multiple components of the 4 major research skill areas listed here: research design, data collection, analysis and argumentation, and reporting results in written form. We'll see how this structure plays out later in the lecture when we cover the class Canvas shell. All the modules, discussions, and exercises open simultaneously at the beginning of the term. This allows you to get the modules in your own order when you need them, rather than waiting for me to open them. Although the exercises all open at the beginning of class, they have due dates, usually 1 or 2 per week. Week 1 has 4 things due, with only 1 provided as a grade. Almost every one of these is due at 8 a.m. on the Monday that follows the close of the week on Sunday. I'll send reminders around about this. We'll talk about reminders in a moment. Let's go over the exercises now. First, the non-mandatory graded ones, that is the ones you would normally submit, but if you miss one, you just get a 0 for the assignment and it averages in. Then the two mandatory exercises that if you do not submit a good faith effort, I will not pass you in this course. And then there are a number of ungraded exercises. The regular exercises, that is non-mandatory exercises, average out to be 60% of your final grade. You see them here, and let me read them off to you. You'll have a quiz on the course introduction, including this lecture, and on plagiarism. You'll have an exercise about how to formulate a research question. You'll have another on how to cite sources per Turabian, the style sheet, again, that we use in this class. There's an exercise on finding secondary source thesis statements. That's going to come in real handy in just a little bit. There's another one on preparing a preliminary research bibliography. We have one that has this ugly title, the Concept Saturation Excel Dump, which is a good technique for organizing other historians' interpretations on your question or topic. This makes writing your literature review easier. We have an exercise on using the templates and they say, I say to include your voice in academic conversation with your secondary sources. This is actually a partial draft of your literature review section of your paper. And you have a quiz on using Strunk and White's rules of rhetoric. All of these exercises have instructions in their Canvas assignments module. You have two mandatory exercises, a proposal, also called a prospectus, concerning your revised paper, and a final version of that revised paper. Together, these are worth 40% of your final grade, but you must submit good faith efforts for each one in order to pass this class. Please use the worksheets I provide in the assignments area for each exercise. The only exercise for which I do not provide a worksheet is your final revised paper. But be advised that I have provided instructions and even a lecture about how you should format that final paper. Read those instructions, listen to that lecture, remember that the information I give you applies in this class, not the ways that you've done things in the past. That's particularly about how to format your paper and how to format footnotes and bibliographies. Finally, you have a few ungraded exercises. You have two discussion boards in week one of which asks you to introduce yourself to us, and the other asks you to discuss the research question you have asked or plan to ask from that previous paper that you'll revise to turn into your final paper. There's also an exercise for you to submit that paper, either from your HIS 3375 class or from a 4000 level history class where you did something you're particularly proud of. Last, you have a two-part exit exam. Part A of the exit exam is a reading comprehension test, and Part B concerns identifying thesis statements in articles. These are two basic skills the Troy History Department has tried to teach you and on which we ask to be judged for effectiveness. Although the exit exam is ungraded, it will be scored. And to encourage you to do as well as possible, I offer extra credit. For a score of 70 to 79, the combined score of both halves, averaged out, I offer 1 point added to your final grade average. For a score of 80 to 89, I offer 2 points, and for a score of 90 and above, I offer 3 points. Beyond that, let me ask for your help once again. Please read through your syllabus and remember that the syllabus provides the policies in this class. If you are unsure of something or see a contradiction between the syllabus and the Canvas shell or any of the documents included by reference, let me know so I can rectify those things. Now let's look at the class Canvas shell. This being a Troy online course, All of its content lives in a Canvas Learning Management System class shell. You probably know that already, but in case you don't, let me mention it here. You can get to Canvas by pointing your browser at this URL posted on this slide. You can also get there through the my.troy.edu website. Canvas also has a mobile app that I find works pretty well. When you get to the Canvas site, your active class shells will all be on your dashboard. Choose this HIS 4490 course card and click it. Doing so will open the home page of the course unless you happen to have set yours to open on a different page. Nevertheless, here's the top third of the HIS 4490 home page. You can tell where you are by the highlighted page in the upper menu area, also called the content area. You see it here. Each of these labels in this content area is a link. The course content exists in modules. We see that link here. Clicking the modules link sends you to the weekly work modules and the weekly office hour module. We'll examine that in just a second. I've built a shortcut in to access each week's work directly. If you scroll down this home page, you'll see this table of links to the module page summarizing each week's work. For this demonstration, we'll choose the link to week 2's page right here. Now we'll look at that particular page in a moment. Let's take the long way around to introduce you to all of the modules. Remember, all the modules and pages are open from the very beginning of class. By the way, you can access all course content pages and modules from the syllabus page of the Canvas class shell as well. Clicking that modules link brings you to this area. You can see the menu item modules highlighted. Here we see 3 of the 10 modules that are available to you on this page. The first one is info about the weekly student or office hour. You see then the collapsed week 1 module, and you see the expanded week 2 module. The course content comes to you in the pages below the gray bar for the weekly module. First, there's an overview page, then 4 skills-related pages you need to complete this week's work, and 1 skills review page that will help you understand that work in context and will appear in a later week's work as well. You can access any one of these pages to see information, readings, and video lectures about its particular skill, and we'll look at one of these pages in just a moment. At the bottom of the week 2 list is a link to the week's exercise. In this case, it concerns creating a research question. For the purposes of this demonstration, we'll open the week 2 overview page by clicking this label. When we click that label, it leads us to this page. This is also the target of that week 2 link in the colored table on the course home page. You click there, this is the shortcut, it takes you right to this page. The week's overview page provides instructions about how to complete the week's work that I think you should do in this week of class time. The only thing you have to do is complete and submit the weekly exercises. But remember, exercises are artifacts of learning. They exist only to ensure that you understand the skills I lay out that week. I've laid out the exercise so you can work toward the final exercise for this course, that well-crafted rewritten paper, systematically. This means that later exercises build on or supplement earlier ones, and it means that when you have an opportunity to use examples from your own paper as answers to the exercise questions, do so. You have access to all the skill instruction pages without having to go through these weekly work pages if you open all of the week's modules. You can jump around in those week's modules if you need to in order to work on your project outside of the weekly exercises. For example, if you feel you need more information on how to cite sources, you can access that module page without having to go through this weekly work overview page. Now let's look at the elements of this page. Below the title is an overview about the week's work, then objectives, what you should learn from the week's work. I've also linked to multiple skills pages per week and to the weekly exercise. These are the same pages that you find in the week 2 module if you open it directly from the Canvas modules area. Now let's look at one of the linked pages. The first one is entitled, "The Most Important Thing, Your Research Question." Click that link, which then generates this page, which is typical, though slightly longer, than the other pages that I want you to access per week. It provides an overview of this specific task, some objectives that you should be able to do after absorbing the page's information, a list of the necessary readings, in this case 1 from your textbooks and 2 that are components of other books that I provided as PDFs through the links, and the instructions and worksheets for this week's exercise. You can also reach this exercise from the assignments link in the menu to the left. The lower portion of this page, if you scroll down, provides 3 video lectures about the skill at hand, creating and narrowing your research question. At the bottom of the page, you'll see 2 navigation buttons that don't show up on this slide. Next is to the right and previous is to the left. Clicking these will take you to the module pages as I've arranged them by week. Well then, this ends the lecture. Again, welcome to HIS 4490, the History Capstone class. I look forward to working with you as you complete your major and your degree. And as always, thank you for your attention.